What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode. You're listening to
MSR Podcast.
I'm Adam Butler. That's Paul Spann.
Black Man Spann in the building once again. Grateful.
Brother Smooth is in the building.
Yes, sir. We here.
LT is in the building.
What's up, y'all?
Lot to get into today. But our first topic, and we kind of going to just jump right into it. Before that, though, make sure that you follow us on all platforms. The MSR Pod on TikTok, the MSR Pod on YouTube. Like and subscribe. Do all of those things. MSR Tribe on Instagram. Shouts out to the Patreon members as well. Listen, man, we're going to jump right into it today because some craziness is going down. T, let us know what's going on, brother.
All right. As you all know, it's been a real crazy week this week. But first, we're going to talk about what happened to Charlie Kirk. He got assassinated at a college. It was Utah Valley University. It's a little outside of Salt Lake City. But yeah, ever since that happened, it's just been crazy. Like, people have been trying to blame each side for what's going on. You know, like it's a lot of uproar with, you know, what everything else that's going on. So yeah, let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it, man. Yeah, a lot to say, a lot of craziness going on. Paul, we're gonna start with you, bro.
Obviously, everyone knows that political talking figure. He's the head of Turning Point. Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk was assassinated in front of a large, in front of television for one, in front of a large audience on the 10th of this month. And since then, so many things have happened, bro. Like, so many things have happened. I've tried to prepare myself to talk about this because I wanted to deliver everything that I had to say properly. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to my good homeboy Jamal Marshall for having a great talk with me. He does a lot of great work in the podcast sphere also. I am a Black disabled man in America, right? Have a wide host of friends. I also grew up in Southeast Washington, D.C., where a lot of both President Trump's talking points and a lot of things that Charlie Kirk referenced through his podcast and through various things have to do with me directly, right? I also graduated from Lanham Christian School right here in Lanham, right in the DMV. I went to school with a host of people that I actually care about and that I love, that obviously have completely different positions on things than me, right? We've talked before on probably episode 1 or 2 in the pod when we discussed a few things about Hulk Hogan, and we discussed how we live our lives. Like, we discussed that. We talked about how people can revere you in death judged on how you lived your life. Obviously, none of us up here will ever celebrate or champion violence. It's not for us. Like, I won't do that. I don't even want to make any jokes or slights or anything about that. We obviously know how sensitive that is. Obviously, all three of us up here are men with families, men with children. So we know how devastating that is, right? So we will never make slight of that. I'd read a caption that one of my friends from high school had wrote in regards to this, and he wrote that what's so disturbing to a lot of people is Charlie Kirk was just like us. That's what he wrote. And I completely differ with him in that, because he's not just like me, right? Obviously, we share being talking figures. We share having podcasts. We share all those things. Adam and I, myself, Smooth, LT, we've been behind these microphones for everyone collectively, at least 6 years, at least. For Adam and I, it's going back almost 20 years. We've had a platform. We've watched things be built. We've helped launch things. We helped do all sorts of things. I can't remember a time where we just blatantly spewed hate. You know what I'm saying? So, like, and all these things I delved into into Mr. Kirk's life and the things that he preached. And obviously, as a black man, there are so many things that I vehemently disagree with. What had me kind of perplexed is the fact that I was raised in a Christian household.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to consider myself nowadays much more spiritual than anything else, because if you're a person who's young in faith, be it Christianity, be whatever it is that you believe in, and you watched two like polar and different sides of a fence in congruency to God, because a lot of people are talking about how, you know, he did wonderful works for God and how his faith was so strong, and I would just question like there's a lot of hate that came along with that. So and especially for black people, for women, for people of the LGBTQ diaspora, for like all of those things, like, and from what I've seen and the things that I've seen of Mr. Kirk, aside from white Christian males, there wasn't a lot that he had to say good in congruency to anyone. And if we were to talk about having grace and empathy and all those things, I'll say this. Mr. Kirk said that empathy was a weak emotion and said that it was something that was made up, right? I disagree. I believe in empathy. I believe in grace. I believe in love for everyone. However, I can respect someone's wishes. I can respect that. Because I think that it matters. I think ultimately we can't negate how we live our lives. We can mask it as much as we want to. We can talk about elements of politics. We can talk about free speech and all those things, but how we live our lives definitely matters. The things that we say, like we all have a right to our opinion. The three of us right here, LT, we're all right here on a microphone stating our opinion. Anything can happen to any one of us. You understand what I'm saying? However, I know that the messaging that I'll be pushing, even being forthright and truthful with my speech, it's still not something that I would preach of hate or intolerance for anyone. Even though, in all truth and honesty, as a black man in this country, there are plenty of things that we could, as black people, there are plenty of things that we could say on the hateful spectrum. And honestly, have an element of justification for it, right?
Yep.
I looked up the word assassination because I kept hearing everybody say that, and when I think about it, I think about Martin Luther King, think about Medgar Evers. I think about, but in my mind I was wrong, because assassination, it per the definition of assassination, it is what happened to Mr. Kirk as far as, you know, being politicized and all of those things. But I just say this. Martin Luther King is dead. He was assassinated, and his children had to go on. Medgar Evers' children had to go on. All these people, you know, life continued on for everyone else and for the community that it affected. But what I can say, in lieu of their death, they didn't spew a lot of hate.
Right.
Like in lieu of their death, like it, and they died for the things that they believe in, much like everyone else. But their deaths were attempting to bring people together, bring things together, bring rights for people that even Mr. Kirk denounced, actually. So once again, like I say, I'm not here to bash someone that's dead, but I would say that I personally think it matters how we live our life and how we form these words on the microphone. I'm speaking right now and I'm cognizant of what I'm saying, and I don't want to bring detriment to anyone else.
Right. No, I agree. I think, like I said last episode, for every person's freedom fighter is someone's terrorist, right? So on the flip side, someone could argue, I don't agree with them, but someone could argue that Malcolm X was spewing hate. Right. Or was having some type of disadvantage to the status quo at that time. I think
that's fair. That's fair to say.
And so I don't agree that Charlie Kirk and Malcolm X or Medgar Evers or Martin Luther King are on the same level. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just speaking from a political standpoint, that
Right.
they were speaking from a political stance. And I think sometimes also in 2025, we have to kind of, people are characters, right? To push Muhammad Ali, right? He played a character when it came to Howard Cosell, when it came to other people trying to either sell tickets X, Y, and Z. I think sometimes in society we have to kind of separate what people are in real life and what their character is. And I know sometimes that's very challenging to do. But that's where we become, we don't humanize things because we are attacking the character instead of the actual person itself, right? So you hear people saying, Charlie Kirk has a family, he has kids, he has X, Y, and Z, and he's not here anymore. People are like, oh, well, who cares? X, Y, and Z happened. But that's real life, right? Like what we see on the screens, whether it be your iPad, your cell phone, whatever, and we see these things on social media because people are seeking these things out. We're seeing them on social media. We got to understand, like, the gig is the gig to a degree. And sometimes people have hyperbole in their speech to ignite certain things and get people energized, right? And so while I'm not speaking about just him himself, I'm saying that sometimes we have to kind of separate the character.
You're just saying in general. You're not talking about him in specific.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Right. In general.
I'm following you.
Right.
Go ahead, okay. So this is one of the things I feared for some time. Paul laid out beautifully, I think, the flaws with Charlie Kirk's messaging. I think you make a great point about what we should do when we hear a Charlie Kirk or Ben Shapiro or anyone that is considered to be a radical messenger. And they would even say, oh, why so serious? To me, that is the gaslighting that goes on in this nation that is shocking and dangerous. I understand that. I want to read something really quickly. The president of the United States was asked on Fox and Friends how he could, what we can do to unify the country in so many words. And this is what he said. I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less.
Literally what he said.
The radicals on the right are radical because they don't want to see crime. The radicals on the left are the problem. They are vicious, horrible, politically savvy. They want men and women's sports. They want transgenders everywhere. They want open borders. The worst thing that can happen to this country. As the president of the United States.
Setting the tone.
The president of the United States decided to
bring this all together.
The current president. The current president of the United States decided to have the flags happen. It's the president of the United States decided to, I forget what medal of freedom or whatever. The president of the United States had Air Force members handling his remains. The Secretary of Defense is scouring the military trying to find out if there's anyone that talked bad about Charlie Kirk and wants to issue punishment on them. The director of the FBI was at the press conference talking about, I'll see you in Valhalla.
We'll take over the watch.
Talking like idiots and cartoon characters, like kids. The biggest issue, and what I've been saying honestly since we relaunched this show, is we have an issue with leadership. We've always had Charlie Kirks. We've always had political violence. Strom Thurmond got shot. Martin Luther King got shot. Those two people that were on the complete opposites of the spectrum. Okay.
The senator that was from Arizona, the woman.
Got shot. I remember that one very clearly because that's when I learned one of my biggest journalistic lessons in my life, because I announced her dead on the radio and I didn't wait for the information. There was a Democratic, forgive me, because I should have wrote this down, a congressman, I believe, in Minnesota, a local congressman, I believe, in Minnesota, who was shot in her home. Her husband was shot and their dog was shot. And the president of the United States, when asked, are you going to contact the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, who ran for vice president,
Okay. Are you going to call him? And he said, I'm not even going to waste my time calling him.
Mm-hmm.
That's a loose quote. Our issue we have right now is leadership. We don't know much about this kid. There are politicians that jumped out 2 minutes after the shooting and accused him of being, didn't even know the kid existed, by the way, just knew there was a shooter. Okay, they don't know if it was that old man that got arrested or another person that got arrested. All they knew in their mind was, this is a left-wing crazy that did this, and there were people on Fox News saying that we will avenge him.
That's what they said. White men fight.
This is the thing that horrifies me. And this is why I can never sleep on the words that I have the emotional intelligence, Smooth, and you make this point every week, and I always understand what you're saying. And I'm not putting you, this isn't,
Yeah.
I always understand what you're saying when you're like, yo, we got to be media literate. We got to, learn not to take certain words. We got to not use them. We got to understand. We did a whole conversation 2 weeks ago about understanding your quote unquote enemy and knowing where they come from. The reason why I can't not take a Charlie Kirk or a Ben Shapiro or a Candace Owens or whoever serious is because I know that there are people that will definitely take them serious.
Yes.
So when we're on air, I'm glad we're talking about this days later as opposed to, and by the time this comes out, it'll be many days later.
Yeah.
But I'm glad at this point while we're recording, full transparency, I believe it's 3 days since the shooting. Okay. So there's been an arrest and there's been, we know the kid's name, LT said.
Kid's name is Tyler Robinson.
Thank you.
From Utah.
From Utah.
Robinson.
Okay. So we know more information now. But what we don't know is what his political affiliation is. There's a lot of rumors. Okay. Last night, one of the most important political shows in television, a show I don't watch because I have the emotional intelligence to go, I don't like the Bill Maher show. Right? But people watch the Bill Maher show. Bill Maher still insists on platforming Ben Shapiro on his show after an event like this. And you know what Ben Shapiro did? He went on and said, well, we know he's a lefty and we know he's this, that, and another. Bill Maher probably thinks that, you know what I'm doing? I'm having open dialogue is what I'm doing. I'm allowing people. No. No. You cannot allow this anymore. If you have a platform and someone is purposely, I'm going to say for the lack of better terms, trolling, we have to stop platforming them. You can never stop somebody going to a Charlie Kirk rally. You can never stop somebody from going to a Ben Shapiro rally or watching a Ben Shapiro show. But what you got to stop doing is entertaining goofies.
But see, I think that's the piece, though. And I agree with you. I think that's where the media literacy comes in. Is like, it's entertainment.
Yeah.
He knows that after this happened, those numbers are going to go up.
Absolutely.
He knows all those things, or at least the producers of the show.
He knows too.
Yeah, he does. He does.
He's been in the business for 40 years.
Right. And so while it at the time it does seem irresponsible, I think there are still people who are just going to get to the bag. They're going to get to.
It doesn't seem irresponsible. It is irresponsible.
Yeah.
At some point you have to make a decision.
Yep.
At some point you have to say, a lot of the people that were online that Paul was alluding to, basically, that were online and going, oh my God, this is that. Well, guys that knew him. And there were many people that were saying, I didn't like the dude, but I knew him. And they would show pictures of themselves. I'm not going to call nobody out, but they had pictures of themselves at like a debate with the dude. We got this debate culture going on. And it's been fun and games until it ain't fun and games.
Come on. Come on.
I'm going to tell you a story real quick. I told Paul this story. This is super fast. And this is just about having a platform. And I thank God for this platform.
Yes.
Real quick, as a quick lightning sidebar. And I'm not going to waste all the air in the room. I want everybody to be able to contribute. But as a quick sidebar, everyone, before I tell this quick story, everyone was online. Everybody needed to make a statement. People that had no idea who Charlie Kirk were, and they ended up sounding stupid. Some of y'all sounded stupid.
How about that?
Because you didn't know who he was, but you felt like because I'm on social media, I have to make a statement.
Yep.
So what you saw was a person get shot, and that's horrible. And you reacted to human being getting shot, but you don't know the context. So sometimes it's best to just say nothing if you just don't know. Let me tell you a story about this responsibility with these microphones, and I'm very thankful to have this platform. And our platform, you know, for many good reasons, is not as big as Charlie Kirk's was.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Kirk worked for Don Jr. Charlie Kirk was banked and backed by the president. Okay.
Makes the job easy.
Years ago, and I ain't gonna say your name. Years ago, we did this show on a thing called Blog Talk Radio. Paul knows a story about that. We did this thing on a Blog Talk Radio years ago. A few days before that, this is actually kind of funny. I was walking home from the store, from the mall or something. I was like basically walking towards my apartment at the time. And some kid like basically ran at me and tried to like attack me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like walking up a hill.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid like lunged at me and I moved and he fell down the hill because but I was confused by it. I didn't know what is this? And I saw some other kids. So I ain't, listen, no shame in my game. I booked it to my house because I thought, damn, I'm about to get jumped. Yeah, like I surely did. No shame.
That's funny.
So, but I was like, yo, I'm about to get jumped. Like, what's happening, right? Told one of my former business partners about this. Later on, we were on air, and this is Blog Talk Radio. So back in the day, we used to take a lot of phone calls on the show.
From all over the place.
Someone called into the show and referenced that event and was like, yeah, niggas tried to jump you in front of your house.
Oh, word.
This, that, another. Okay. Shake you up, make you nervous. What the hell? My man was super concerned for me. I was concerned. Because I'm like, what is this? At the time, to give context, we were managing like rappers at the time. So it could have been, it could have been beef. It was just, you know what I'm saying? So I'm talking to my father about it. And I say, Dad, you know, this is weird. Somebody called the show and like essentially kind of threatened me. And he says, son, that's terrible. And we're going to try to figure out what that's about. But I want to tell you something. You have been sharing your life on air. You have decided to make your life public. And every now and then, someone's going to dislike you, son. Someone's going to dislike what you got to say. So you should be responsible about what you say on air. And you should also be careful and understand that even if you think you're saying everything right and you're trying to play the middle and this, that, and another, you're still public facing and anything can happen.
Be aware of that.
That's someone telling me who had no intentions of ever trolling people, purposely pushing buttons, purposely antagonizing people, and inviting people to a public sphere to have an open debate with me everywhere I go. Marginalizing people, all of these things.
Lying.
This should not have happened to that man.
We agree on that.
This should not have happened to that man. That man. And honestly, I think most people, and T, you could jump in after this. I think most people are reacting to, or were reacting to the horrific footage. And outside of him and what he was about, just the visual of that was horrifying. I was at work and one of the young ladies I managed came in and was like, did you see the Charlie Kirk video? And she showed me, and my reaction was like, oh my God.
I don't want to see that. Yeah, I don't want to watch
and
that.
I've seen it. I've seen people get like in life. You know what I'm saying? It's not my first time seeing it, but even it never gets easy to see someone.
And it shouldn't.
Yeah. So it should not have happened. It should not have happened. These things should not happen. Last thing I'll say is, we cannot get to a point outside of our personal opinion. This is why the leadership thing is the thing I'm really hammering. Charlie Kirk was who he was. People that support Charlie Kirk, Nargis would say this if she were here, America's racist and been racist, and race is going to always be around. And she's right about that. Okay, so you always going to have a Charlie Kirk, and you're always going to have people that are like, yay, these black people and these trans people and this, that, other are the reason my life is shit. Cool. The leadership portion is where I just stick with, because we cannot live in a world, we cannot live in a country where it's like, you know what, I disagree with you, even if you're horrific, you die. Because you make a great point. Everybody's freedom fighter could be someone else's terrorist. So someone else on the left who we agree with, someone else on the left who we agree with could be in danger. And that's the thing that scares me, and that's why I'm most disappointed in the leadership of our country, we don't have leadership in our country. The guys that have the jobs, they aren't leading. All the president did was stoke the flame, and all the president did was say that if you didn't like Charlie Kirk and you didn't like this, then you are the problem.
We're gonna hunt you down.
And quite frankly, something should happen to you, and everybody should be afraid of that. Go for it, sir.
So I'm one of those people that was like, who?
Yeah.
You know, just like, who is Charlie Kirk? And, you know, I've seen more of his past work and videos surface over the last week than I've ever seen, you know, and I guess the time that he's been, you know, podcasting.
Yeah, well, he wouldn't be popular on your timeline personally.
Oh yeah, no, he ain't gonna show up on my timeline. You know, unless you're a beautiful black woman or anime or you know, something like that. Yeah, y'all want me to say everybody. I love beautiful black women. I love black women in general. Lordy, what I'm saying is that, like, you know, basically, like, I'm that person that's kind of like, I didn't know who this guy was. So hearing that, you know, he, you know, was basically murdered. He ain't no basically, he was murdered.
Yeah.
And, you know, to me, this is my personal opinion, you know, just like Paul said at the beginning, we don't condone violence of any kind.
No.
So I can't sit here and be like, hooray.
Yeah.
You know, this racist white guy is now gone. And, you know, like, that's one out of the infinity of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't sit here and be like, oh, hooray, that's one of a million. Because guess what? There's still 999,999 left. So it's like, you can't really, you know, be happy about it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But, again, it is about the message that you send out to the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, those wavelengths. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Karma's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it comes back to bite you. And I see you, Smooth. I know what your mind is thinking, but I'm not going to say necessarily like, oh, he had this coming. But the more you talk without knowing exactly what you're saying or, you know, who your message is reaching, which is anybody.
Not caring.
Huh?
Or not caring about
or not caring about, exactly. Like, he didn't care. He did not care. All the things that basically happened to him, he already has said that he didn't care if that happened to anyone else. You know what I'm saying? And to me, it's like, okay, that's not a reason to be like, oh, okay, I'm glad this person's gone. But I'm also like, you know, like, hey, man, I'm not necessarily going to grieve over this person, but I'm not going to, like,
celebrate.
Like, I'm not going to, no. What I'm saying is I'm not going to shun somebody that is going to grieve this person, you know, whether this person was like
I can dig it.
Against or with your views. Like, there's people on the left and the right who have sent out saying, like, condolences to his family, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, yeah, if that's how you feel, by all means, feel that way. Grieve for this person. But to condone on the other side where people are like, nah, I can't really grieve for this person. I don't like that this happened to him, but I can't grieve for this person. The only people
person is at fault.
I think it's interesting, man. I think that, you know, globally, political violence looks a lot of different ways. In other countries, they get rid of people like it's nothing.
Yeah.
It's
that's very true.
I think in the very civilized nation that we're in, we have difficulty because it's a process. We've been so used to that process of like you have to go with the democratic process to push your agenda in whatever way you want to go.
Right.
And so when you start having different rhetorics, that's what fuels those things. I mean, we've seen it on both sides. We've seen political violence against, you know, Republican President Reagan. We've seen political violence against, you know, JFK, even you know, of white figures in the nation.
Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, I mean, it's old as time.
You know, and so, and I think that's where really assassination comes from. It has to be a political agenda attached to it, right?
Yes.
And so I think those come a little different than just murder.
And no, I agree.
And I know y'all do, but just for the audience's sake, I think that to kind of like look at what we really want to achieve, and we have to start mobilizing. That sounds preachy, but I think that we need to. I don't want to do that. I don't.
No, you're fine. Right? You're good.
But I think that we have to kind of, you know, think about what we're doing, where we want to go, and what is our agenda? And I think that's to a degree what Charlie Kirk was trying to do. And I think what everyone tries to do, not maybe to his nastiness, his racistness, but I do think that, a lot of people are trying to mobilize people.
I was going to say, I don't think you should backtrack on the word mobilization.
Yeah.
I don't think, because, bro, and I'm specifically talking for me, my grandchildren are Floridian. They were born in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I have Puerto Rican, black. My granddaughter is black, white, and Korean.
Mm-hmm. You said Korean?
Say it again?
Korean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, and they live in Florida. Like, understand, my granddaughter is 2 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Their PBS has been defunded, right? Yeah. They're attempting to replace it with a caricature of Christopher Columbus touting how slavery wasn't that bad. You haven't heard
Potter House, I think his name of the organization.
Literally, I'm
not wrong about that, but
not even making that up in the least bit, right? So when we talk about Mr. Kirk's legacy, right? Mr. Kirk, I believe, was either 31 or 33.
He's young.
But and he was touted for sparking the young conservative movement, right?
Yeah.
So let's break this down. 31-year-olds now, right? And the younger people that are under them, 20, 18, 17, 16. All of that rhetoric is going to come across my grandchildren. You understand what I'm saying? And understand, I listened to his wife speak the other day. He said, and don't think that this movement, because that's what they call it, that this movement is going to stop. It's going to be ramped up even more. And per your point, think about the gravitas of ratings. Think about understand what I'm saying. So this stuff is going to be amped up even more, right. And it's and it has the backing of our president,
right,
which is ridiculous. Like, I listened to President Clinton's statement. I listened to George Bush's statement. I listened to President Obama's statement. I listened to all of the statements, and they were completely non-divisive, like 100% non-divisive, right? But they aren't in office right now.
But they're also politicians.
But understand what I'm saying.
I'm with you.
They aren't in control.
I mean,
right
listen,
now.
Man, one of the biggest jobs of the president of the United
who
States
is in control is continually spewing the same hate.
One of the biggest jobs of the president of the United States is to lead the country.
Lead.
Yeah. All the policies and all of those things, they come and go. This is just a realistic view on it, honestly. Mm-hmm. This is an adult view on why you vote for president and what the president is or isn't. Your policies and all those things, it depends on what's going on, how much control they have of the House and the Senate. And
there's a lot of variables.
How popular, how much political capital they have. But when a tragedy happens, that's what the president is there for, to lead the country.
Set the tone for it.
Set the tone and lead. Mm-hmm. Right now, we have a man that's telling half of the country that you are my enemy. Mm-hmm. That is piss poor. But I want to go back to something LT said really quick, because I think he made a great point, a more human point, because there's the politics of it. And I honestly think this is something we're going to be talking about for a little minute now. So it's not, because this story is going to develop and it's going to get worse because the people on top want it to get worse. So we're going to be talking about this, okay? But I think that LT makes a great point about like just the human reaction, because when you don't have leadership, you're kind of forced to kind of figure it out yourself, right? So people like yourself, T, who didn't know who this man was, and guess what? I'm not surprised you don't know who Charlie Kirk is, because Charlie Kirk was in a very niche space. Okay, my wife didn't know who Charlie Kirk was. She just knew someone important got shot. Okay, someone famous got shot. Right. I saw this thing because, again, everyone was making a statement that day. And I had my own conflicts. I told Paul that I thought about just making a video.
I made no statements. We talked about it. Yep.
I thought about just making a video. I thought about making a, what should I do? We got a podcast. What should we do? And I think it was like a day later, I found something on TikTok. This guy named Therapy Jeff, I don't even follow him, he just popped up on my TikTok. He said, his caption was, "It makes sense if you don't feel a deep well of empathy for someone who made a career out of refusing to show it for others." And I just added, it's normal, it's human. It doesn't mean you're evil. It doesn't mean you wanted it to happen. It doesn't mean that you like that it happened. And it's definitely not political. And that last part is something I want to just speak on just for a hot second. A lot of people, because they didn't know what the hell they was talking about and just had to talk, were going, it's a shame. It's just somebody just got a different political opinion than you. You just hate, you happy that that is to me, by definition, wrong.
Cheap assessment.
To me, is a cheap assessment. It wasn't a political difference this man was talking about. He wasn't talking about, you know what, I disagree with you on how much we should tax billionaires, or, you know what, I disagree on, you know, I don't know, tariffs. He was saying that you aren't smart enough to fly a plane. These group of people do more shootings than other groups of people, and I don't have any facts behind it.
None.
I'm just saying it. And if you don't like it, debate me. Let's have fun. And that is, again, as I expressed before, cheap entertainment. We can easily do this on this show.
But
by the way, hey, real live, we can easily do this on this show. We can easily, every week this show could be, you know what we're going to do, dog? We're going to have a bunch of right-wingers come in this genre, or people that just disagree. On our old show, when we just come to like silly topics like dating, which we're going to talk about in the next segment.
Pack them niggas up.
We would just go, hey, you know what? Let's just have a bunch of, we could do what Fresh and Fit does. We could do what Fresh and Fit does. We just have.
No, thank you.
Yeah, we won't, but we could just have, you know, let's just hire a bunch of people to come in and let's just, you know, defeat them in debate. Let's just destroy them. The South Park episode that's been taken down, I think it's the same episode where they had Charlie Kirk in it. I believe it's the same episode. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but it was like a clump of episodes they did where they made fun of a bunch of the people in administration and friends in administration. Cartman was going around debating girls.
Oh,
and
yeah.
The whole theme of the episode was Cartman was just going around debating like girls in his class and getting them all worked up, and he was feeling good about himself. He's like, I'm crushing everybody in these debates. They can't handle me. But he really wasn't winning, but he was just over talking and double talking them and just getting people flustered and confused. That's all. What's the thing Amanda Seales went on recently?
Oh yeah, that platform.
That platform.
20 against 20.
Yeah, but it's a name of it. It's a name of it. I can't remember. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's all those platforms are. That's all Charlie Kirk was doing. That's all Ben Shapiro does. That's all these guys do, is they just have people on and they get them emotionally worked up, like you always talk about, and then they go, no. So to the human point of it, because I want a little rant there, and I'm sorry. To the human piece of it, just because you didn't watch that crap doesn't make you wrong at all. You just didn't know who Charlie Kirk was. And what you're seeing, because of poor leadership, is a bunch of people reacting like the Pope got shot. Or the or someone, you know, other than an internet guy got shot.
Jubilee.
Yeah. Jubilee is the name of the platform. Thank you.
Yeah.
And so just to land this point, LT makes a great point. If you aren't feeling empathy about this, or if you're sitting at home kind of going, I mean, what I heard about him was he didn't really fool with me, don't feel compelled to pretend online. Don't feel compelled to go, you know what, though? You don't have to. You do not have to make a public statement about this.
At all.
You don't know who the man is. Consider yourself lucky.
Shut up.
Consider yourself lucky and just sit it out. Just sit it out. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine if you did know who he was and were fully up to speed on what he talks about and what he's about. It's okay to go, I'm having a hard time feeling bad about this. It doesn't make you evil. It doesn't make you wrong or anything. Two things can be true.
All at the same time.
You can hate murder and hate public murders and assassinations and feel bad for his wife and kids and wish all of those things can be true, and also go, but I'm not at home boohoo crying about this.
Right. In the least bit.
In the least bit.
In the least bit.
So, anyone else got anything else about this before we wrap up?
I would just say this also. I had to make a statement because we are behind the microphone.
Yeah.
And like I said, it shook me not to my core, but when my friend, like someone that I've known since I was 14 years old, and sometimes it's hard to reconcile with that, because and I'll just say it straight out, for white America and for Black America, the lens of this is completely different.
Yeah.
And then understand, myself and all of these people I'm speaking of went to the same school. So at some point in time, whether it be our socioeconomic level, whether it be whatever, we still crossed paths.
Yeah.
We were still in the exact same place. We still had an understanding of one another to a certain standpoint. Right? And then when you leave from that and then you get back into the reality, there are people that I actually love, have literal love for, because I have love for them. And I can't relate to them right now.
Mm.
And I can understand how they can't relate to me, because understand, there are things that have happened in this country for us that we have to get beyond and get over and keep on functioning. There are things for people on the other diaspora that they have to try to avoid, and they've never stopped doing it.
Let me ask you this. Is it possible that America is going through like this revolutionary space right now, whereas though like shit is just happening? I think that I think that things are starting to come to a head, and everyone's concerns, because there's so many different concerns,
Right.
are coming to the forefront. And so we're all just clashing, you know, from the black trans community to the white trans community, or the black LGBT, whatever, from, you know, the union workers who happen to be black and feel like, you know, the unions aren't taking care of me, taking, you know, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Everyone is at it right now. And I think this is for us to kind of find our own identity, figure out, you know, what we believe in, what we want to, what is our passion to and contribute to this clusterfuck that we have. So as Adam, you know, being a journalist, he has a very specific responsibility that others don't have. Right. And so we all have to learn what part we play in this, and how do we either try to fix it or continue to keep the chaos going. I do think there's a level of chaos that's going to happen when we have difference of opinions.
Yeah.
And I'm not speaking about Charlie Kirk.
And no leadership.
You know, leadership, right? But I think even, you know, and I know this is going to sound like the day old thing, but it's local leadership, right? If you have a local mayor of a small town, maybe like Laurel, who is putting that work to get people together, even though it's on a small scale, that's leadership. We have to kind of, we have to celebrate those things. Also, we have to celebrate the smaller wins, so that we can start to see that, okay, maybe this can move when we need to move, versus just depending on President Trump or any president to try and bring this thing together. Because
I don't think
this is not 1960s.
I don't even think what he's saying. I don't think we're dependent on him to bring us together, right? But his positioning can help quelch things. You understand what I'm saying? And at its least, not stoke the flame even more, and let it be staunchly known and seen for, like, understand for what diaspora that you're pandering to. Like it's directly like right there. Like I said, the reason that I even brought up the growing up in Southeast DC and all those things, they are putting a sick. The man said that some of you young men are born to be criminals. Like he said that. Reasoning I always bring up where I'm from and how I grew up is to let people know that isn't the only thing that comes from there.
Right.
And understand something too. And I'm not even talking about that in a disparaging way, because there are reasonings even for those things. You understand what I'm saying? So like I say, when I think about it, I really think about it on a deeper level. Like my son works in Florida. We've had a discussion. He was sitting in his work truck one day, and people just came up. A white lady just came up and just started knocking on his window and all those things, because he seemed out of place to her. You understand what I'm saying? So like even these ideologies, bro, like there's we all have the right to think what we want. We all have the right to debate and speak up. But like then there's also a place where things are actually dangerous. And the rhetoric that we spew is dangerous. So I think that matters.
Yeah, you said something I thought was very, very interesting. So you said that are we like in a revolutionary space? And I believe yes, absolutely we are. I think that white identity, white nationalism, is, and this is, if you want to take this as a positive, depending on what side of the fence you're on, is in its last like dying grasp. It's against the ropes and it's swinging real hard and it's making, it's like the Commander game the other day where, it got to be like 18 to 27 and us fans were like, okay.
Yeah.
Even though in your heart, you know,
we about to lose, yeah.
but you
we
know,
still in there.
But you know, oh man, they scored, and maybe if they score and they kick and they have optimism, you know, that's optimism, and it's because it's so and Trump and guys
we're
like
so
that,
attached to it.
Yeah, Trump and people like that. This chair, I got to fix this chair, but Trump and people like that.
You're about to break the chair.
I know, right? I'm about to break this chair. Trump and people like that kind of represent that, right?
Right.
This last ditch effort, and why Charlie Kirk was so important to them because he was galvanizing the youth,
younger,
and so you keep that movement going, right? But no, of course. But just to land this plane, yes, I think we are in a revolutionary space. Yes, I think things are going to get very uncomfortable before they get comfortable again. I don't say that lightly, and it's scary. I think about my kids. I have very young kids and what kind of world they're going to grow up. How long is this going to last? What's it going to do to my life? All these things I think about. And everybody at home, to LT's point, are thinking about this. His assassination introduced the world, the people that were able to sit at home and this isn't a knock to anybody, anyone, because honestly, I admire it. I really do. I admire being able to not think about this
None
shit.
Of this.
Okay, I really do. I admire a human that figured out a way to just keep their sanity. Trump derangement syndrome is something the right likes to throw at people on the left. And what they try to say is that Trump derangement syndrome is basically, y'all tripping, man. It's gaslighting. Y'all tripping, man. I don't know why y'all so worked up about this all the time. You have Trump derangement syndrome. Trump derangement syndrome is real, but it's not how they define it. Trump derangement syndrome means you wake up every morning, and if you're paying attention, you're seeing craziness after craziness after craziness after craziness after craziness, and then you turn on the news or you turn on a show, and you see people talking to people that are operating and are responsible for the crazy like they're not crazy, which makes you feel crazy. You're going, man, there's National Guard walking around Washington, D.C. They keep telling me my city is violent. I know my city isn't that violent, but people keep telling me my city. I feel crazy. And it's this one person at the top that seems to be responsible. That's Trump derangement syndrome. If you are able to escape that, then I admire you.
Applause.
What this Charlie Kirk thing did was introduce everybody to the derangement.
To it.
So you come on the Yankees game the other day, and the Yankees having a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. Or I turn on the Commander game the other day, and the Lambeau Stadium, people at Lambeau Stadium are having a moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. People that are again FBI director. I said all the stuff earlier. I'm not going to repeat myself. So what I'm trying to say is that now we're all been thrown in it now. Now we're all aware of the nut shit that's been going on. You can't ignore it anymore.
Real fast.
So hold on, just really quick. Just really quick.
Yeah.
Really, I promise I'm landing right now. The plane's on the runway, and we opening the door.
USA Airways.
The little thing is out. Everybody, you can walk off.
He blew jet.
Yeah. JetBlue.
The more you interrupt him, the worse it is for him to land. So,
yeah. I'm landing.
Bad flight.
I'm landing. The revolution, so to speak, comes from everyone realizing how goofy things have become and not being able to ignore it. That's where the change that you're talking about comes from, right? Without that, you have people that just kind of bend the knee because they have all the control. They have the presidency, they have the government, they can talk and make you do whatever. Our dear mayor. What else can she do?
Right.
I just got to bend. But then you look at Chicago.
Her back in either.
You look at Chicago. You look at other places, and you got people that are going, I don't want to go through that. So that's how, to your point, the little mini revolutions. And when I use the term revolution again, I'm not talking about bearing arms and all this. I'm talking about political thought.
Revolutions of thought.
Revolutions of thought that get you to where you need to be. So to answer your question, yes, I do believe that there is a major shift in thought happening and has been happening. The first major shift in thought to happen or awakening in thought happened on the right side. And now the left side is realizing, okay, we're going to have to get a little more serious in order to create change. And we don't have leadership at the top. So if I'm a local leader, I have to lead people in a better way. So we don't have more political shootings and political
And that's
violence.
why we had to talk about this.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
I think that, I've always argued that the media is the fourth branch of government,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Great point.
I think right now the media doesn't really probably know what to do.
Yeah.
There's there's a inherent responsibility, but there's so many other things that matter. Like I saw the TMZ clip where they first found out that Charlie Kirk
And
was
people in the
killed.
background were laughing at something else.
Well,
and
everybody started going crazy. Everybody started
Mhm.
scrambling and like, we got to
Mhm.
get the story out fast, because that's what it's about. In that space of journalism, it's like who gets the story out first.
Right.
Not necessarily as accurate, but who gets it out first,
100%.
who's the name to claim, and that comes with things. And I think that we're trying to find our way in how to navigate that space in our nation during this revolution. And I think the revolution really started, unfortunately, when President Obama was coming in.
100% true.
That's what really kicked the door in. And I'm not blaming him or
Right.
No, it was a bunch of
Democrat,
white folks going, I can't believe this uppity black man telling me what to do. Happened to my country.
But
Yeah.
I think one of the things is that we have to kind of remember, if people or black people normally say that America is racist, I mean, is this what, more racist? Or is this really what people or is this what we thought it was? Is this the beast that we thought it was that's now starting to rear its head? Because before we've said, oh, this country is this country is that, this country is this, but now we're starting to see it. So it's like, is it more racist, or is it what we've been saying it is?
Can I answer
And
that
how to
real
respond to
quick?
that? Yeah.
And this will be literally my last point on this, and we
Yeah.
can, and then Paul, if you want to say something else, it's cool. We'll wrap up after. The country is not more racist than it was.
Mm-hmm.
What I think is disappointing is that maybe we fooled ourselves, millennials fooled ourselves into thinking we had made some strides and made the country less racist than it was. But because the country is just as racist as it always been, does not mean that you stop trying to make it less racist.
I agree.
Because again, if I'm not talking about kumbaya, I'm talking about you may be racist, bruh, but what you're not going to do is openly and freely put your foot on my neck,
Right.
because you can't.
Right.
I have to make it so that you can't do that.
No,
Maybe-
I make it easy for you.
Maybe your kids will learn and maybe they won't be as racist as you. I ain't even thinking about that. But what I need to happen is that you cannot just put your foot on my neck.
I totally agree with that. And per your point that you brought up of the many revolutions, right? Because we can all have them. I honestly, like Adam said, I reserved my talking. I did not make a post. I didn't do anything. I reserved all of that because I do know that I have a microphone, and I know that it can be revolutionary. The same way that the young man, his platform had the ability to blow up and reach so many people, we still have a voice. And honestly, and I'm being 100% honest, when I looked at personal things from my personal friends, it made me know that I have to be responsible on this microphone. Like it made me, these many revolutions are real, and I'm going to be a part of it. Aside from wanting to start different programs and stuff in the neighborhood that I grew up in, and all those things are things that I'm already in the making of doing currently right now, because I know that work needs to be done. But taking all I'm happy that you said something about many revolutions, because we all have to take that seriously. And whatever, maybe everyone doesn't have the ability to be in front of a microphone, but they have the ability to understand what's going on in their neighborhood. They have the ability to start a mentor program. They have the ability to contribute to things that have already been started. It's not even that we all have to start something new. There are many things that are already happening. So let's figure that out. Let's try to be involved. Let's take from this, from the media attention that it's getting from all those things, and take these many revolutions and actually make something of it, because it does matter. Like, I don't want my son in danger. I don't want my grandkids to grow up in this ideology of the world.
I agree. All right.
Yeah.
All right, T, what we got, man?
So we about to talk about the Clipse.
Okay.
It was at the Vatican.
VA's finest.
Performing. So, yeah, let's get on that, because, God sorted them out.
Yo, listen, man, listen. Okay, I was going to put before that, but I was just, I'm just going to just share my personal thoughts about this. I think this is hilarious. The Clipse are going to be performing at the Vatican. I haven't seen the date or anything like that, but the Clipse are like super interesting to me.
Right.
And we're going to have in a later episode, and Argus is going to join us for that episode. We're going to have a larger conversation about like older hip hop artists and how there's like a, there's like a movement of like
A
older
resurgence. Yes.
MCs and doing anything. And I love that. We're going to talk about that on another episode. So stay tuned for that. But the thing I find interesting about the Clipse, and not just like they're brilliant, just like just the dropping of the album and all of the movement behind the album, all of this brilliant.
All that, yeah.
And I love the Clipse.
Mm-hmm.
And they're kind of like, they're not DMV, but they're kind of like
Cousins.
pseudo cousins to the
Very
DMV.
much cousins.
Pusha.
And they give us props.
Yeah, I'm about to say
Yeah,
Pusha is always around. Tony Lewis and people. Pusha's always here. We love the Clipse, man. The Clipse. I couldn't be happier for the Clipse. Okay. But they're performing at the Vatican. I don't know, maybe you live under the rock, you don't know what the Vatican is, but the Vatican is the home of the Pope.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The city.
That's God's house. It's literally God's house.
It's the hub of Catholicism.
Yes. Of the Catholic Church.
When I grew up Catholic. We had a picture of the Pope. I went to Catholic school. We
explains a lot. Go
I went to Catholic school, like I said, all the way up to high school. My brother went to Catholic high school. I'm very familiar with Catholicism.
Mm-hmm.
The Clipse talk about selling dope a lot.
A whole lot.
I would argue that the Clipse, 90% of the Clipse catalog, and that's including
drugs,
all of the Pusha T solo stuff too.
Right.
Is about selling dope.
The base,
literally.
The base element.
It's the base element.
The base element.
That's hilarious.
It's the base element.
You need that.
Of their music. It's about selling crack cocaine.
Oh my God.
So I ask you, team, what the fuck are they going to perform
So
at the Vatican? Please tell me.
So let me speak on this.
Okay.
Let's do we remember the old Dave Chappelle joke where they were talking about Little John? And when they first came out with, skeet, and they were putting it out on the radios, they was putting it out on Kids Bop and all that other stuff. Yeah. And then when they found out what skeet really meant, and they were just all like, oh, dear Lord, what have we done?
On their face.
And it's like, I feel like it's one of those moments where it's like I said, the name of the album, Let God Sort Them Out. They were like, you know what? It's probably gospel. Let's go ahead and bring them in. And when they get on stage and they start really talking, it's going to be something else that they just going to be like, wait a minute. Did he say snow?
What
Is he
the
talking about real
heck?
snow?
Right,
What?
yeah.
What?
Right.
What? So it's going to be very interesting. That's all I'm gonna say.
But you know what, Joe? I think to be a little bit mature right now, right?
Please help me.
It's a story of redemption.
Hey young.
I love it.
From the corner to the Vatican.
Brother. Yes. From the corner to the Vatican, dog. Hey young, listen.
Moving that white.
Bro.
Oh, man. To the white.
White smoke comes out when the Pope is in. Listen.
Exactly. And
there's correlation
all
there.
white. Everything about
all white.
Hey, listen.
Hey,
Shouts to Malice and Pusha T. But look, all right, so I heard, to T's point, and we move past this after in a second.
I got one thing to say. Go ahead.
No, of course you do. I'm not going to, please, yeah. I heard, T makes a good point about, like, corporate America, and this isn't corporate America at all, but it's, main, whatever you want to say. People that aren't into hip-hop, learning about hip-hop on the fly, right? I heard there's some commercial recently. It was like an interpolation of my neck and my back. And I don't know if y'all heard this. It was like
I did.
Literally, it was like something like it was like a Downy commercial. Something. It was like my sheets, my something like that. It was like they doing my neck, my back, my neck, my back, my pussy, and my crack. It's how that song for Downy.
For Downy. Is that what they were talking about?
No, they really did. No. Hey, T, 100%.
Is that what they were?
By the way,
they did
commercials.
They didn't use those words, but they really used that whole case.
It was an interpretation of it.
Yeah.
Real quick before you go, P, those bear commercials that you're talking about are the funniest shit in the world. Oh boy, you got some stuff on your ass crack.
Yeah.
Remember the bands with the dirty, with the
Charmin
dirty
bears.
asshole?
The Charmin.
Yeah.
They're the Charmin
Yeah,
bears.
the Charmin bears. No band don't know how to wipe his ass. 'Cause
man.
They always portray them as either Bloods or Crips. I want to put that out there too.
They really do. They really do.
P, what's up, man? What
They
you
really
think about?
do.
You gonna go to the Vatican to see him?
Hold up.
You go?
If I can bring a smidgen of seriousness to
Okay,
this, because
please.
it's very funny.
You gotta wear that hat though.
To me, hey, I don't know if I would make it in.
You ain't gonna make it out the Vatican, bro. Yeah.
I'll say this. This screams to me of the power of Pharrell Williams.
Okay.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Because I think between
Real sensei.
Malice and Pusha T,
Yeah,
I'm not saying they don't know what the Vatican is. I'm not saying any of that.
They
I'm
definitely
not
know.
saying any of that. But what I'm saying is, I don't think this was their idea.
That's hilarious.
Hey,
hilarious.
But you know what? Though, the funny thing about Malice,
And then he's a preacher, a pastor, right?
He's not a pastor, but he was born. He was. I don't want to. I don't want to say that. He was definitely born again, which is one of the reasons why the Clipse broke up in the first place, because he was, very religious.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is,
Well, I don't know.
Pharrell is a president and artistic director for Louis Vuitton.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And he, like I say, to me, this speaks of his influence and his thing. And I understand the Clipse are his right hand. Like that's his. I mean, aside from all the other work that he does,
literally.
Yeah.
I mean, not literally. Excuse me.
Like,
I know what you're saying.
Figuratively. Yeah.
Right. So I think that we can give him, his due for that, because to me, when I think about this, it just makes me think about him.
There it is, man. There it is.
But I mean, of course, them being in Europe. I don't know where Louis Vuitton headquarters is.
But they're always performing in Paris. They're always performing in Europe.
And I think that that expands the fan base a little bit more, especially
I agree.
being in Europe for so much. And now it's like, okay, people are starting to hear these American, black artists, and it's like, this is probably like a first. I don't know if
it's definitely
Michael
a
Jackson has
first.
done it. I don't know if Prince. I don't know.
That's a good question.
I don't know if
I don't know if there's ever been a
if any
performance
black
at the Vatican.
American
we have to look that up. If you guys know, let us know.
Yeah, let us know in the comments for sure.
But this is unprecedented, and I think that this is a move for America. I think it's a move for Black people. I think it's a move for hip hop as a culture.
Yeah.
And I think that it shows like our reach, or the culture's reach across globally, in terms of you could be from mid or southern Virginia, speak about something that someone I'm not gonna say Ukraine because they're going through it right now, but
I know what you're saying.
Somewhere else,
someone else can relate to.
Ukraine ain't listening to nothing right. Well, I mean, they're not listening to nothing, but they're not listening to the Clipse right now.
Listen. Way to clean that.
Here we go.
Way to clean that up.
Hey, I tried.
Hey, listen. Shouts to the Clipse, real live. In all honesty, shouts to the Clipse. I think that's super dope. It makes me laugh, but I think it's super dope. All right, man. We get ready to wrap the episode up. These dudes are idiots, by the way. They like them thick. What can I say? And thanks for watching. Oh, man. Listen, big shout outs to everybody that subscribes to the show. Thank you for subscribing to the show. Remember to hit that notification bell. Remember to comment, all that. If you're listening to the audio version of the show, remember to rate and review the show. And spread the word, man. We out here. We back. We doing our thing. So thank you so much for that. Shouts out to all the Patreon members. More Patreon content coming very soon. We got a lot of stuff that we recorded that I need to put on there. Charge it to my head and not my heart. We're going to get that stuff up there. But shouts out to all the Patreon members, all of the tribe members out there. Follow us, MSR Tribe on Instagram, MSR Tribe. Hey.
We about to create something.
Well, hoity-toity over here.
Listen, better.
Like, what's up with this guy?
Matter word.
If you still
what's up with this guy?
Instagram, I know you heard it on this show.
Hoity-toity. Tarjay ass.
Hey,
let's go.
Instagram, MSR Tribe, and MSR Pod on TikTok, and of course the YouTube channel, man. Again, man, we talked a long time about the Charlie Kirk thing. That's going to be a story that's going to be developing. We're going to be talking about not necessarily him so much, but we'll be talking about what's going on in the world. But I just want to leave you with, remember, man, you got to mind your mental health. Mind that mental health, man. There's going to be a lot of things going on. There's going to be a lot of information out there. There's going to be a lot of confusing things going on, man. Take breaks. Take breaks. Laugh. I'm looking at a sign right now. It's right across from me. It says, love one another.
Yeah.
I know that sounds corny and hokey and all that, but it's never been more true.
Poignant right now.
It's never been more true. So I just want to leave y'all with that, man. I appreciate y'all, Brother Smooth.
Yes,
Great
sir.
show.
Thank you. Thank you.
LT behind the boards. Great show. I'm Adam Butler. That's Paul Spann.
Black Man Span.
Remember to be great.
Elevate us.
We up out of here.
Yes,
Shout out to Nelly Furtado.
Peace. Shout out to Nelly Furtado.
Shout out to Nelly Furtado.